hear some screaming out there. I don't know if it's kids playing or what it is, but anyways, welcome to episode 7 of the Organized Frenzy podcast. I am Natasha. I live in Welland, Ontario, Canada with my boyfriend Jesse and our 3 cats. And I am on Instagram as Organized Frenzy, on Ravelry as Natasha Hillier, and there is also a Ravelry group called Organized Frenzy Podcast, and that is where I post my show notes. So I link to the things that I talk about, and that's that. I am drinking some David's tea right now. It is called Organic Serenity Now. I liked the name of it, and I thought it would be nice to have as just a, relaxing tea. It is still quite hot though. It burnt my tongue a tiny bit, so I boiled the water to 190. So it still needs to cool a little bit. I have lots of exciting things to talk about this episode. I have a finished object. I have some whips to share. One whip, I forgot one downstairs and I'm feeling too lazy. And did some sewing. So let me just finish this row. It has been a bit of a crazy week again. My boyfriend's friend, Fred, has moved in with us. Well, he brought some things on Wednesday and Thursday, and then he's bringing, I don't know if he's bringing more today, but today he's staying, so we'll have 3 people in our house. I wish I worked on this more. It looks so cool. And I wish it was bigger. It is taking me forever to get through this pink. Since I've podcasted every week, I've been working on pink for over 7 weeks now. My goal is to be able to finish knitting a pair of socks and then immediately add that yarn into my blanket and then cast on my next pair of socks. I don't think that's gonna happen this year because I just have so much sock yarn to add to the blanket before I can be caught up with the socks that I'm working on. But that's, it's nice to dream, I guess. I got my, what is this called? A wrist ruler. I forgot. I got my wrist ruler back on, I think Thursday. It finally came in the mail. They had sent it this past Monday. A week later. Oh well. I'm just glad I have it. I was so close to ordering another one. I was so sad that I didn't have it anymore. You think it's like, okay, yes, it's practical having a ruler always on you. And then, you don't really use it. Well, I don't really use it in my everyday life. There was a couple times where I wanted to measure something and I didn't want to get one of my project bags or get like a measuring tape. Would have come in handy. Didn't have it, but now I do, so it's all fine. Let me show you my FO. Getting there. Okay, so here are these mittens. Now maybe they look okay at first glance. If you remember, I said I have some guilt about unfinished Christmas gifts. So I cast on some mittens. And they're slightly different. My gauge is slightly different on both of these. Okay, so I measured my hand and I measured Jessie's hand to see like how long I should do them. I've never really made mittens before, so I had no idea. As I was measuring, or as I was knitting, it says to stop, I think like 2.5 inches before the pattern ends, or before your, the end of your hand, so that you can start doing the decreases. Also I did the cuff short. It was supposed to be 25 rows. So anyways, and then I think you do like 1 repeat pretty much, and then you start increasing for your thumb. Now look at how tiny this is. My thumb starts right here. If this was like that, I think they would be fine. But I measured my hand. They're a little bit short for my hand because I had measured right from where the ribbing ended. But realistically, you'd pull it down a little bit more, so it kind of makes your hand cramped. Now, I haven't blocked these or anything, but I'm not gifting them because I'm not pleased with how it turned out. Like, and then the thumb. Like, my thumb does fit in there, but in order for the whole, for this to fit properly, it needs to be like another 1 or 2 repeats lower than it is. I've already, like, I woven the ends and I said, you know what, I'm not gifting these, whatever. I like the yarn. It's Patton's Classic Wool or something like that. I have it, but the label. I don't know. My gauge, it was a little bit different for these as well. I think my first one might have been a bit tighter. Second one maybe a bit looser. So I'm not super pleased with that. I thought I was doing them fairly even, but I don't know. So I don't know what I'm gonna do now for those Christmas gifts for my dad and his wife. Because mittens I thought were gonna be quick and easy. Those were about 8 hours, so it was longer than I thought it was gonna be. And it didn't turn out how I wanted it, so I really can't be bothered to do it again. Yeah. Let me adjust that, it's a little better. Okay. Whatever. Moving on to whips. I've got my Comfort Fade Cardi that I'm working on. And I'm about halfway through the solid section of color C. Okay, actually I'll show you the right side first. So here it is. And so this is fading from color 2 to 3, and I'm working on color 3 right now. And here is where I was last time. So I've done a decent amount, and you can kind of see the color changes there are a bit easier. Let me move my progress keeper now so I don't forget. I didn't work on this as much as I wanted to. I am still loving knitting on it. I feel like I haven't done a lot of knitting this week because I've mostly been knitting on those mittens. I did some other stuff, but I was like stressed about getting that done, so then I didn't really do any knitting for myself. It's crazy that I am making a garment. I'm so excited to wear it. You would think that I would knit on it faster. I want to focus on that, I think. And my Christmas socks, just because, like, Christmas is done. I don't want to, like, I don't know. I don't have, I'm working on one pair of socks at a time because that's the only needles that I have. So I don't want to take forever to finish those Christmas ones because I want to get going with the next pair. Oh, I organized my yarn last week. So I had all this commercial sock yarn in that bin. So I took it all out and put it all on the same shelf as my like indie dyed stuff and more bit nicer material. It's pretty much all like merino. And yeah, it was kind of surprising to see when I took all the commercial stock out, because I didn't realize I had that much, and then to put it all together in one shelf and to see it all now. So I have to get finishing some socks here, folks. Yeah, and then that shelf is all for shawls. Oh, there, that lighting is a bit better. All for shawls. I have shawls planned for all of that yarn except one. There's a cake wound up. Did I talk about this before? How I got this. It's quite expensive because I chose it was like alpaca, merino, silk. I don't know, 3 balls of this super expensive yarn. All 3 are different blends, and I was gonna do a mystery knit along. I didn't like how it turned out, so I just frogged it. I really didn't have a lot, so I just frogged it and left the yarn wound up. That was from like September, I think, that I started that and didn't like it. So I don't know what I want to do with it. I was thinking of just knitting it as a 3-stranded garment. I think I'm still going to do a shawl because it'll feel so nice on wrapped around. I mean, I could do 3 shawls and have the 3 different mixes of yarns and only hold it double. That would be kind of cool. I don't know. So that's kind of a design your own. And then I have another 2. So it's going to be 3 shawls that I'll design, dare I say the word. Just kind of make it up as I go, I think. So, yeah, anyways. Yeah, I think that's all the knitting that I have to show for right now. I did, let me just reference this. Knittertainment, I'll just briefly mention this. Mostly Boy Meets World. Last time when I said I was on, or I just finished a season, what did I say, season 3? Season 2 of Jane the Virgin? I did not. I'm in the middle of season 3. It was such a crazy thing that happened. I thought it was the end of a season, but then I remember what happened at the actual end of season 2, so yeah, I'm on season 3. I hear my neighbors. Anyways, I think I'm getting a cold or something. I'm a bit sniffly, and Jesse's a bit sniffly and coughy, and so that time of year. What else was I say? Oh, and Harry Potter, of course. I haven't actually listened to it too much, which is kind of driving me crazy, but I just don't think I've had a lot of downtime, really, like lately. I don't know what it is. So anyways, we had, oh, sorry, I feel like I'm all over the place right now. I wanted to talk about my kind of organization for this year and my like planning and stuff. I have done bullet journaling in the past and enjoyed it. I still have the journals somewhere. Actually, I think they're right here. Here, okay. Never mind, can't be bothered to find it. It just takes a lot of time, and I don't have like super nice penmanship. Usually I'm just writing things down quickly and it's messy, and doing bullet journaling is a hobby. And yeah, I was just getting annoyed of, like, not annoyed, but I was just not keeping up with it because of how long it took to put it together. I mean, I know I can do like a simple layout, and I mean, I do like it, but then when you have it as a bullet journal, you want to use it for, you know, planning different things. And I had different lists and different pages and stuff, and I mean, I loved it, but it was becoming not quite so practical and functional for me. So I got a file of facts, and I got like a nice one. It was like a leather folder thing with a clip on it, and then you get the inserts. I figured I was going to make my own because this is where I transitioned from bullet journal to commercialized planner. Made my own inserts for a bit. Wasn't loving it because it was still too DIY, and then I bought some inserts and it was just too big of a planner that I wasn't using it. So I'm like, okay, well, what am I gonna do? I decided the Midori Traveler's Notebook, I think it's just called, not Midori anymore, I think it's Traveler's Company or something, that I was just gonna get the passport size. So they have one that's, I think, a little bit, is it a bit wider? I don't know, but it's taller, and I thought, that's kind of an awkward shape for me. Before I go any further, I have a stain of fountain pen ink on here, and it happened like the day after I bought it and set it up. I was so mad. But I had like this little mini fountain pen. This one, it's a Pilot Petite 1. Oh, this lighting is just, I don't know how to work with it. Anyway, I did it as an eyedropper. So I sealed off here the threads where it all connects. And it didn't fit nicely on the side like that. I've made some changes since then, so it does now, but I had it just on my desk at work, sitting like this, and it leaked because I had opened it up and I didn't seal it properly. The threads are pretty big, so that was a disappointment. Anyway, decided I would just go with the Pilot G2 because it's click pen and it's easy. So yeah, so what I have in here is 4 notebooks. I'm not quite using this as much as I need to be or want to be yet. I keep it in my purse, so I'm trying to figure out, I guess, a spot to put it where I'll easily have access. I mean, my side table, but then if I'm downstairs, like, And I mean, I guess I could carry it with me. Maybe that's what I'll have to start doing. I don't know yet. So I started with I have the 2018 pre-filled inserts, and then I have, oh, okay. Again, can't be bothered to get anything today. So this is January to June 2018, and then there's another book for July to December, and it's just, I'll show you a blank one first. It's got the week here, so starting Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, which is how I like my weeks to be organized, because it's like the work week. So I just have my things written in here and kind of do it bullet journal style. Each like task is a bullet, and if I need to make a note, like the one day Jesse was going out for dinner with his friend. Normally he'd be at home or he'd be at his other job, so I just made a note of that. Yeah, so I just have things in here, kind of bullet journal style, and I'm just updating this because I have it taken out of my purse. Yep, and just things that I need to do today, so that's a great reminder. I got the little card for 2018 where you put it into the book and you put it right under, so you have like a hard surface to write on. I got some other inserts. I was gonna get the monthly for 2018. I didn't because it was a bit pricey and I was buying the weekly, but then I just bought the blank monthly one. So it's got all the months there, and you just fill it out. But then I filled out, I was following, it had like a preset thing, so I did 01 for January. Wrote 2018 terribly. I didn't like that, and I switched it up for February. Anyways, so I took some time to fill out all the months, which was kind of annoying, and I'm going to be buying the weekly and the monthly for next year. Well, provided that I use it. I have it's called Craft Folder, so it's just like that, and then on the other side is where I keep that. I have a Starbucks thing because I want to knit these, so I just saved this so I could have like a size reference. Clearly I haven't done that yet, but I plan on doing that. Another one I have is the business card one. There's a picture of my family when we were little, and my uncle's business card with a zip folder. And then the two notebooks that I have in here are just lined and grid. So that's everything I have in here. Now it's quite full. The leather cover doesn't fit around it properly. When I initially set it up, I was gonna have the weeklies for 2018 both in here, and then I said no, it's too big. I just had 3 notebooks, and then I was like, no, I want the monthly one, so I added the 4th one in. So it's full, and it sits kind of funny in my purse. It gets all like crooked like that, which kind of drives me crazy. But I think I just need to keep it out and reference it to remind me when to pay the bills so that they're not late. And I have people's birthdays marked down there. The lined notebook and grid and stuff, I use kind of like I had for my traveler's notebook or my bullet journal, where I have like lists and I'm doing like some planning, and I keep track of things that I've ordered online, like when I ordered it and when it came, so that I know if I'm still waiting on anything, which is a huge one that I find quite helpful. So that is my setup for 2018. I'm trying to be more organized and a bit more plan a bit more, I guess. Yeah, so I figured I would share that. I don't know if I have any knitting pages or spreads in there. No, because I mostly just have that other notebook that's in my sock knitting bag that I kind of write for knitting things. So yeah, maybe I should do grocery lists and stuff in there, shopping lists. It's hard, like, I always have my phone on me, so then if I need to make note of something, I'll do it on my phone, and then I don't always make use of my notebook, because then too, sometimes I just bring my wallet with me, and I'll bring my whole purse, so, I don't know. Anyways, I went over to my friend's house last night, and we had knitting lesson number 2. The one girl had been practicing a lot, so I cast on like 30 stitches. It was maybe like this wide, and she left and had like maybe like this much done. She had like this, like it was almost enough to like be a cowl when she finished and cast it off. So we were practicing doing some ribbing, and I kind of explained what stockinette is and garter, although they are not fully grasping that concept yet, like right side, wrong side, and knowing, like, reading your knitting. Not fully grasping that yet, so I mean, it took practice for me, right? So, and then, what did we do? So we learned how to cast off, and then we learned how to cast on, and I got her to knit so it's funny, the one girl she's practicing more, but she tends to like keep making the same mistakes, like knitting through the back loop, or knitting a twisted stitch, like, or purling the wrong way, like wrapping the yarn the wrong way, or things like that. But she is making progress quicker, I guess. Whereas the other one, maybe I won't call her a girl because she's a woman, a lady. She is more of a perfectionist. She's a bit older, so she's more of a perfectionist, and I don't think she's rushing through. Like, but you teach her something and she remembers it and does it correctly over and over. It's just like has some questions about it, but so she's not quite as far along as the one. So it's kind of hard. Like, they're at different stages, right? So it's like, it's more like, okay, I'm sitting next to this one and showing her something. The other one's working on something, then I'll show her something else. And so it's not at the same, they're not at the same pace, but yeah. But I didn't get I knit one row on my sock, or one round on my socks last night. It wasn't a lot, just because like I'm sitting there watching them, they're asking me questions, I'm showing them new things, and it's, I mean, if in the one row that I knit, I think I was interrupted like twice, so it's not worth it. But you know what I thought? I'm gonna be bringing my blanket with me, because it's just garter, I'm not timing that one, doesn't matter if I'm interrupted. But I'm going to bring my blanket with me because it's still quite portable, the size that it is, and it's not too, it's like, it'll be fine as a project to kind of work on and pause, so that's what I'm planning on bringing for knitting lessons. I don't know if we're going to have one next week, but I want to, like, so the one girl is like pretty much out of yarn for this 50-gram ball that I split, or 100-gram ball I split in half and gave 50 each. So she's pretty much done that. She's got some cotton that she's gonna make like a little coaster and a little scrubby, but like she's gonna have no yarn soon, so we're gonna have to go. I think I'm just gonna bring her to Michael's, and she really wants to do socks, so we're gonna do like a worsted weight sock and do, yeah, like explain choosing yarn and needles and stuff. I let her try the metal needles that I had, and she liked them better than the bamboo because it's smoother. And I said I didn't want to give these to you guys like right at the beginning because it's very slippery. I didn't want your stitches falling off or anything like that, right? So yeah, so that's been fun to see how they've progressed. And yeah, so we'll see. But she's moving to Toronto, so we're not gonna be able, like, I'm not gonna have knitting lessons with her anymore. She'll be sending me pictures, I'm sure, and I'll send her some videos so that she can reference if she needs help. It's so funny, she'll do something and she'll be like, and just like pass it to me, and I'm like, you didn't do anything wrong. It's just like the yarn was wrapped, or like, you know, you knit into the stitch below or whatever. And then she'll do something wrong, like knit through the back loop and like la-di-da, it's fine. Not realize until I'm saying, nope, wrong, you have to knit through the front, remember? Anyway, okay, so you can see my sewing machine is not here anymore. It has a new home, and I think I talked about what I wanted to do with it. In the spare room, I wanted to set up a desk, have my sewing machine there. So I've got it set up now. The table that we were using as a dining room table is really just an old desk, and it's quite big, but it's just a basic desk. It's got one drawer in the front. It's just the tabletop, and then the 4 legs screw into it, but it's old, and it's like solid wood, so it's quite heavy. Yesterday Jesse worked, and I couldn't wait for him to help me with the desk, so I took it apart myself, and I pushed it up the stairs. I was sweating and panting after I brought it up there, and the stairs like turn slightly at the top, and I have some things on the landing, so I had to like shove them out of the way. But it was like me like pushing this desk. It was hilarious. He's like, how did you move that? Like, you didn't want to wait for me? And I'm like, no, it's fine, I did it. I just felt like doing it now. This is me, guys. I get it into my head that I want something rearranged, and I just do it. I've always been like that for my bedroom. The past 2 places, no. This place we haven't moved our bed because there's really only the one spot it can go. And we have the TV like screwed into the wall and stuff. And but the last place I was in, I think I rearranged it only once, and I was there for 8 months. The room before that, I didn't, but the one before that, 2 times, I think, in 8 months, I rearranged. Actually, maybe I rearranged the other room too. I can't remember. But I get it in my head that this is how I want it, and I just do it. And I make a mess in the meantime. I am thinking of rearranging the office, the room that I'm in. So it's a bit dangerous to think about it. Anyways, so I got the room set up. So it's a big wooden desk, and we have the futon in there. So those are kind of like the 2 big things. And the futon folds up to be like a couch, right? So it's fine when it's in couch position. When it is down like a bed though, it goes almost the full length of the room. So I had to put the sewing machine in a spot that was furthest from the futon, and that's where I have my chair. And then so that's the one side of the desk, and then the other side of the desk is I have my cutting mat, And I also have like a mini ironing table just from IKEA. I think it was like $5 or $10 or something. And I got it like when I started university. So like 6-7 years ago, I got this ironing table thing. And I have that, and I bought an iron on Friday when I was at Walmart. Just the cheapest, like $15 one. So got that set up, and I have some, and then I went to Fabricland yesterday. We went to Fabricland first, and then I was like, well, like, I need like a good place to sew because I have 3 meters of each of these cottons that I got, cotton fabric. They were on sale and it said 3/1, so I was like, oh, maybe it's like a third of the price. No, what that means is you buy 1 meter and you get 2 for free, so 3 meters for the price of 1. So I'm like, okay, well, it's still like a third of the price if you do it that way, but I just have tons of fabric now, 3 meters of each of these 2 cottons. And then I got one that's like a polyester viscose or something blend, which I don't love the feeling. I'll show it to you in a second. But the pattern is what I wanted because I saw it somewhere and had to have it. Anyways, so I have the room set up. I like how it's set up, and then I did some sewing yesterday, which I wasn't planning on. But let me back up for a second, because last week after, I think it was the day that I had done the podcast, I decided I was going to attempt another project bag. So this one turned out way better than the first one. I can actually show it to you. So I got some invisible zippers from Walmart, and I got just those pre-cut squares of fabric, and I thought these ones went nice together. So it's like starfish, and then this is like an oceany one, and then the inside is this crazy one, which I thought was kind of like beach glass. I don't know. When you're in person, you can kind of see through this white one and see that it's like yellow on the inside. And this is not lined, and I didn't have my iron at this point. So I was using my steamer. You can take the head off and it kind of gives you like an iron head. I didn't have my ironing board up because it was in the basement. So I'm ironing on my self-healing cutting mat, and it like raised up a bit from the heat. I'm like, no, don't get ruined. Anyways, okay, so story about this bag. Well, the first one was such a failure. I was trying to make it up as I went along, and that was a terrible idea because I had no idea what I was doing. So I watched a tutorial this time. I watched Nicole Hugh Loco. I think she did Christmas project bag. So I watched her video. I kind of got the measurement ideas from her, but I did it based on what fabric I had and stuff, and the size of my zipper, which was quite long. So I did that, and then I sewed all the wrong sides together, had the lining and everything, and then I remembered I had to open, or no, I closed the zipper to do something. Oh, and I realized my sewing machine came with a zipper foot. So that was amazing to discover, because the first time I had sewed, I didn't realize that it was a zipper foot, and it was all wonky. I did try to do a top stitch, and it didn't turn out very well. But anyways, so I used the zipper foot. I can't remember what it's doing, but I closed the zipper for some reason after I had cut the extra ends off, and the head zipped right off the zipper. I swore to myself, quite loudly. I was furious. And I think I spent half an hour, but I reattached the zipper somehow. would not give up on that. Because I was almost done the bag. I literally just had to, I think I had even sewn like the sides. So I think I just had to flip it and then seal the inside. And I was done. So I was like, I'm not ripping this out. Like, not gonna buy another zipper. Like, anyways. So I did it. I finished it. And I was quite pleased with how it was looking. This is what I knit the mittens in this past week. It was a good size for 100 gram skein of worsted weight. And it does fit 2 skeins. I boxed the bottom and everything, but it's not lined. It's not the best work. So I was already planning on the next things that I was going to do. I made a little notions pouch as well, which is not boxed, and it didn't turn out the best. This is not lined up, but I did it for this one, like, perfectly. So I'm very pleased with that. Yeah, so once I finished it and it turned out well, I was like, well, I need to get some interfacing now. I need to get some more fabric. I want to make more bags. So I went to Fabricland yesterday because I was off. I wasn't going to do any sewing yesterday, but I set up the room and I got super excited about having it ready. What are my neighbors doing? I'll show the other fabrics later as I use them, but I actually called my mom while I was there because she sews, and I'm like, where do I find the cotton? I want some canvas too. And what about interfacing? I was like whispering. So I saw the sale cottons first, and I was like, well, I'll come back here, like, you know, based on how much the other ones cost. I don't know how much fabric is, but it was like $20, $28, $30 for 1 meter, which is all I wanted. And I was like, I don't want to spend that much money on it. Oh, I did end up spending a lot of money because I had to buy 1 meter and I got 2 free. So I mean, I have a lot of fabric for those 2 cottons. But anyways, learning experience. I still didn't find the canvas because, you know what, I was getting all my fabrics. I got them cut and then I was like, oh, I forgot the canvas. So I didn't, whatever. I knew it was going to be a lot anyways. I figured I'll get some canvas later. Ultimately, that's the style of project bag I want to make, with like a canvas bottom and then the cotton on top and then a nice fun lining. Anyways, okay, so I saw this pattern of fabric and I had to have a project bag in buffalo plaid. So I made this yesterday. See, not a very good job there. A little bit better there. Not good job here. Actually, can you see? But better there. So anyways, so this is what I sewed yesterday after I had my room set up. I did not do a top stitch here because I was feeling lazy and I didn't think it needed it. I now would prefer to have it, that I didn't do it, but I don't mind. It's fine the way it is. Just have some random yarn in here that I brought last night. I love how this looks. I love buffalo plaid. It makes me think of Canada. And the size is great. So it's a square that I cut, and then it made this like bag that was a bit taller, which is fun. I think this is probably the smallest I would go, but that's like a wider bag, so it's a bit taller. Anyway, the lining is the same. It's just the plaid on the inside. I did interfacing. I got a fusible interfacing. She's like, so the lady's cutting my fabric and she's like, Oh, and I said, oh, I need to get some interfacing too. She says, okay, what kind? Do you know what kind? I said, nope, no idea. And then I was telling her I got a sewing machine for Christmas and kind of still learning how to use it. And she says, is it for any of this fabric? And I said, yes. So she just chose an interfacing. She didn't even give me the instructions for it, so I kind of had to guess the heat setting. I started medium and then I turned it up a little bit, so that ended up working. So I lined the outside fabric and not the inside. And the sturdiness I do like. I think I still want a heavier interfacing, like a medium weight, because I think that one was pretty light. Or to line the insides as well. What else do I want to say about it? I think that's it. The zipper, I just got black. Just a simple zipper. I don't know what the exact measurements of the project bags I'm going to be making. This I would say is like small. Maybe like for socks. This is like medium. This is like a 2 skein. You could probably put 3 skeins in there if you really pushed it. I think these squares were like 13 by 13 or between 13 and 14 inches squared. So I would say that's like 2 to 3 skeins probably. And I did a 4-inch squared box. What Nicole did was cut out a little triangle, like measured it first and everything, and then you just kind of hold that on the corner right here, and so you can just sew across the line of the cardboard cutout. And then your boxed corner is the same. The other thing you could do is use those friction markers or pens or whatever. I do have one, but it wouldn't have showed up on that plaid anyways. But that's something else. So I think I prefer to do the corners that way for now anyways, rather than to, and this is what I did first, I cut out the corner, and so they weren't even, they didn't line up. But yeah, I would prefer to do it this way, where you cut off the extra fabric after. And yeah, so that's what I worked on yesterday. I didn't do too much knitting yesterday. And I'm planning on making 2 bags for the 2 girls, 2 ladies that I'm teaching how to knit. It was gonna be a surprise, but I spilled the beans yesterday. I don't like to keep secrets. I brought that bag and they're like, oh my gosh, you sewed this, it's amazing. And oh, will you make us bags? And I said, yeah. So well, I was gonna surprise you with it, but I'll just tell you. So I have 2 different cottons. I'm gonna do the, like, say cotton A as the outside and B as the lining, and then for the other bag I'll do B as the outside and A as the lining. And I'm just going to do it as a solid print. It's quicker and easier than having to do the two-tone. Excuse me. I did top stitching on this. Actually, that's not too bad. And on my zipper area as well. So I like how that looks. I have to get better at that for sure, but not bad for my first one, I think. The other little notions pouch has like a white material and then a stripe, and I top stitch on the white, which is a really super pretty material. But I chose a navy because it's navy stripes for the thread, and you can see that I did not stitch in a straight line, so And I just bought some white and black thread yesterday, so that'll be sufficient for the other 2 bags that I'm doing. Yeah, so sewing is fun for right now. I don't know. I'm thinking, like, I don't know what I'm trying to say. I enjoy doing it. It's quite a process to cut out the fabric. Once you have it cut out, it's easier to get going. So I think I'm just gonna cut out a bunch. Well, I have 4 more bags to make. So I'm gonna do probably like this size or a little bit taller bags for the 2 ladies that we're doing knitting lessons with. And I have zippers for those. And then I'm gonna make 2 like sweater size project bags for myself, same style. So with those 2 fabrics, just because I have so much of it. And then I have the interfacing, so it's good. That's all the zippers that I bought, so I'll have to get more zippers if I make something else. I do want to make project bags for my mom and for my aunt because they are both knitters. My aunt made my very first project bag, and she kind of just figured it out as she went, and it turned out quite good. It's canvas all on the outside, and then she did like a nice cotton lining, and she put a couple pockets in there for me, and she put like it's not the best sewing job ever, but it's quite good, like for making it up as you go and me just asking for this wedge bag with some approximate dimensions. So, and she did it all as one piece too. So yeah. And then my mom, of course, I like to make things for her. And then I was thinking, well, and we'll see how this turns out. So I'm going on vacation with my aunt in March, and I have to get my passport renewed. Anyways, and so we're going with one of her friends who I have been on vacation with before, and her friend's mom is also coming, who knits a little bit, mostly does crochet, little like knickknacks. So I thought it would be cute to bring her a little bag as well as just a little gift because it's nice to get. I just think project bags are so fun. Just a cute bag to hold your stuff in for your knitting, and you don't have a gross, like, I just use big plastic Ziploc bags for the girls that I'm teaching to knit. So something that looks a bit nicer, right? But yeah, so that's my plans for sewing. We'll see how much sewing I get done, because I mean, it's easier now that I have it set up in one spot, whereas previously I was kind of like, that table is small and I didn't feel like I had enough space on there. I had to move the sewing machine off when I wanted to cut my fabric, move it back on, slide it around if I was pinning things out. I didn't have the iron set up, so it's such a much better setup now. It's encouraging me to actually use the space. So yeah, so that's kind of the plan. Last thing I wanted to talk about is all these project bags that I have sitting there. Actually, that canvas one is the first one. I think I've showed it before. Anyway, I have a big Roots reusable tote just from ordering something, or I think when Jessie got me something. I'm going to keep all of my worsted weight scraps in there because I'm going to make the log cabin blanket by Very Pink, Stacey Perry. And I haven't weighed any of the yarn yet, but I'm not going to, well, maybe, I don't know if I'm going to do that yet. I have, because I might divide it up depending on, you know, how the blanket works out. But my plan is to get the Ziploc bags and just do, like, separate each square that I'm going to do. based on the weight of the yarn and everything. So I'm just keeping my scraps in there for now. I don't have a lot, so that's why I haven't really made any progress on there, but I probably can use this DK from my Comfort Fade Cardi. I'll have some leftovers there. DK is almost worsted, right? I can use some scraps for that. I think I'm gonna do the blanket as a white border. Stacy does hers as black, and it does look really nice. I think black is just harder to work with, right? And I think white would look really cool with all the colors. So, or like just an off-white, like a creamy color. So that's the plan for that. And the other project bags, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4. So I have my next 4 projects lined up. I am not going to cast them on until I finish something else, which is like really putting the pressure on. I have mittens for my aunt. I'm going to do the fiddlehead mittens. She's the one who, actually she made that project bag, and now I'm going to be using it to knit her something. So they were supposed to be for Christmas. I'm behind, but whatever. In here, one of my friends just had a little baby, so I made the flax sweater, is that what it's called? I can't remember, but the newborn size. And after I'd finished everything, I thought the neck line, even though I thought I cast it on loosely, I did oh my gosh, long tail cast on. I thought I did it quite loose, and it was stretchy, but then by the time I finished it and realized, like, is this going to fit over a head? Whatever. So I figured a cardigan would be better. I got some buttons yesterday from Fabricland, and so I have some, I went stash diving for this, so I'm quite proud because I was about to go out and buy yarn. Of course, any excuse, right? When I can't buy it for myself. But I found some, so it's Knit Picks Stroll, and it's a tweed. It's like a light gray tweed. It's not super tweedy, but it does have some of the flex in there. I wanted to do the Mercury socks with that yarn for so long. Didn't do it, haven't done it for, I've had the yarn for like a year now probably. So I figured maybe working with the tweed in socks that are lace would be kind of weird anyway, because I have done that before with like a single ply, and it had some chunks in it. Ugh, I hated those socks anyway, but so I figured this will look cute as a sweater. And then I got some wooden buttons from Fabricland yesterday, so that's the plan for that. And then I have in this front one that like neon green hedgehog fiber sock yarn in the colorway Bounce, and I'm going to do a shawl. And then actually it's kind of blending it. Oop, the one right there, made by Lizzie Ann Yarns, and she gave me minis from when she was test dyeing up my Comfort Fade Cardi colors. So there's 5 minis in there, and one of the colors is not part of my Comfort Fade Cardi, but she dyed it and said, like, which do you prefer? So she gave the minis to me. So I'm gonna do just a sock head hat, but I'm gonna use the fade pattern from the Comfort Fade Cardi and use the colors. So I got 16-inch circular needles, and everything is set up in the bag. Like, the bags are all ready to go. All the needles are in there, the patterns are in there. I just have to finish some other projects before I can start those. So I have 4 projects on the go right now. Comfort Fade Cardi. Oh, and I got, I was excited about this. I got 12-inch circulars for doing the sleeves. So you can, because it's the right side is purl, so you can knit the sleeve inside out and just do it all knit in the round. I am going to purl the sleeves, because I don't mind purling. It's going to be annoying, but that will give me a looser gauge, I think. So, but I went up a needle size anyways because the sleeves are slim. And I didn't want to risk having them too tight. Even if it's like a bit looser, it'll just be like loose. It doesn't have to be super tight. I would rather it that than be tight and be uncomfortable and be like stretched and not feel nice. So I have those 12-inch circulars in 4mm and 3.75 for the cuffs. So I think the game plan is to focus on the Christmas socks because that's just easy. That's knitting in the round stockinette, and focus on Comfort Fade Cardi because I want to wear it before the weather gets too warm and I can't. And then I'm working on 2 shawls, which I do want to get moving, but I think those other 2 are the priority right now. The one is my What the Fade, so it's like gonna take forever to finish, I feel like. Other one is my Stars Align. I was gonna show that because I have some progress. I saw my progress creeper from last time have a little bit of progress, but I'll just save that one. So today I'm gonna work on some laundry and just do some knitting. I'm not planning on leaving the house. Just have a day to myself because I went to Fabricland yesterday and then was away like all night. So just gonna take some time for myself today and relax before I go back to work tomorrow. Be a 6-day week, then I work a 5-day week. 5-day week. So, I mean, I have a 3-day weekend in there, but the shifts got kind of messed up just because the one guy is out of town and he didn't, it was kind of like a last minute thing. So being nice that I am helping him out with that. Anyways, so that's kind of the plan for today. And yeah, so thank you again for joining me for episode 7. I'm looking at the timer and it's at an hour now. So this is my longest episode that I've done. Did I blab on too much? I don't know. If you're still with me now, thank you. I'm enjoying doing the episodes every week. It's something that I look forward to, even if I don't have a ton of knitting to give an update for. It's just kind of fun to chat about my knitting and yeah, just talk to myself basically. It's kind of a gray day out there, so I'm just gonna, I think, will I watch TV or listen to Harry Potter? I don't know. Maybe I'll watch TV. But yeah, that's the plan, and do some laundry as well. Yeah. Well, enjoy the rest of your weekend. I know there's not much left for me, but hopefully you've got some more left. And I am looking forward to talking to you next week. Maybe I'll have some more project bags finished. I don't know yet. But